Hi Gemini, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome, this is your first time here. So this is going to be your love and spirituality reading for the rest of January, and I'll also be doing an extended video, and in the extended video we will be doing a 2019 tarot forecast. So I'll basically be showing you what you can expect in 2019, some of the positive events that you can manifest, and then some of the things that you need to avoid. So let's get into it. And again, this will be your love and spirituality reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I already pulled your cards because I feel like when I shuffle, it takes way too long. And I feel like I kind of have to rush through the shuffling. So I already pulled your cards, and I'm just going to read exactly what I see. So first we have the Ace of Swords in reverse, and we have the Three of Cups. And this is in the past position. So this could be the energy that you left 2018 with. So it looks like some of you were very confused. Why do I feel like this Ace of Swords keeps coming up in the Gemini readings? Like, I swear this Ace of Swords came up in, what was it, 2 readings ago? But it just looks like some of you left this energy in 2018, like feeling very confused. For some of you, it could have been confusion, unfortunately, about someone you were dating who could have possibly been seeing someone else. Or this could very well be that you were just not feeling like you could trust people that were around you, because the Three of Cups in the upright talks about very close friends, like having a very small circle, and because of this being very tight, because it's like the less people you have in your circle, it's kind of like the more serious that connection is. You see what I'm saying? If you're someone who has 20 friends, then you may not be able to have a bond as strong as someone who has like just 2 friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's not possible, but y'all get what I mean. So like I said, you look like you're one of those people who have a very small circle, and because of that, you can be a bit paranoid because you could have been stabbed in the back in the past, and so it's like you don't want to lose anyone else in that way. And so it just looks like your mind was just very clouded about who you need to take with you into 2018 or who you need to leave behind, is what I'm seeing. For some of you also in the past, you were very confused about just your happiness in general. I'm getting the energy of kind of wondering like what it is that you are looking for that's going to fulfill you, because the Three of Cups can also, in reverse, could also talk about depression, going out to party a lot, drinking a lot in order to kind of numb some sort of pain. And then I feel like this, it's kind of like you, let me slow down, I'm talking too fast. It's kind of like you are wondering how to heal this pain instead of masking it, or you're wondering like what your purpose is, or you're just trying to find your joy, your happiness, because it looks like you've been chasing it or chasing peace through destructive habits in some way. For some of you, this is saying that you were literally going out partying and socializing just so you don't have to face the reality of a certain situation. So some of you have been running from something that you were needing to face, and you were using kind of like destructive coping mechanisms to run from it. So, ooh, that's a lot. Yeah, not some of you just really not wanting to see the truth about possibly a friend or someone who was close to you in some way, or yeah, no, that's it. That's all I'm getting for that past position. And at the bottom of the deck, we did have the Queen of Swords, I mean the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Devil card. So I'm guessing that this is past position, or this is past energy of, this pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it? Of being attached to people who don't necessarily have your best interest at heart, but feeling like you can't break away from them for some reason. And it could be because you're taking on this Queen of Cups energy of being very loving or emotionally connected to whatever the situation was. But with the Knight of Swords here, I do feel like some of you could have been in an argument with this person, or there was a lot of communication back and forth that was toxic in some way, or hurtful in some way. It's, the message is kind of confusing here, but I feel like all of this happened in 2018 though, is what I'm seeing. Some of you, I hope that that's not confusing. I'm going to leave those alone because I feel like the message is going to get kind of confusing. But I feel like that was the energy that you left in 2018. So let's move on to present energy. So we have the Three of Wands here, and we have the Three of Swords. So The Three of Wands talks about you putting a halt to whatever it is that you were venturing towards. So if you were set on some type of path in 2018, it's like that path has been redirected. So you thought you were going one way and now you're being steered in a whole new direction. And I feel like that's a good thing, because whichever path you were on your way to was going to end in devastation. So if you were hell bent on being with someone or keeping a certain person or certain people in your life, and you were willing to go the extra mile to keep them there, I feel like you were redirected, because like I said, that was going nowhere. Or wherever it was going towards more heartache. So that's why it had to be cleared and redirected. With the Devil card being here, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. For some of you, like, this was a situation that was just very unhealthy with the way that you communicate, the way that you speak to each other. Like, there could have been a lot of love there, but something was just off. And you were about to put a lot of your energy and time into this, and you would have ended up with nothing. And you would have been very, very pissed off that you put all your time into it. So if something ended and you feel like upset about the fact that it ended, just know that you would have been even more upset if it would have continued, because then you would have looked back on all the time that you wasted on the situation. So you were pulled out of the situation just in time. Let me see if I'm getting anything else here. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting anything else here. For some of you, you could have been dating someone who you were seeing long distance, and that had to come to an end, coming to a realization that it's just not going to work, because some of you are needing someone who you can see and touch every day. So long distance is not something that's working out for you. For some of you, I'm getting that you have been dating people long distance and you're needing to evaluate why that is. Because for some of you, you keep on getting into long distance relationships, and I feel like some of you are just chalking up to the fact that, okay, I just keep meeting people online and they live far from me. Okay, sorry, my camera died. My camera keeps on dying. I'm actually thinking about investing in a new camera for my birthday, because this camera is just getting out of hand. So, like I was saying, some of you who have been dating people long distance, you're needing to evaluate why that is. Because I feel like some of you think, okay, I've just been doing this because I've been meeting people online who live far from me. But really, there's some type of issue with intimacy. Here is what I'm seeing. There's like, some of you are very afraid of getting too close to someone, and that's manifesting or playing out in your life through you constantly getting into long distance relationships. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's, you know, it's not that deep, like you're looking too far into it. But no, you'd be very surprised at the ways that our subconscious mind works. It plays out in very strange ways. So when some people have issues with connecting, or when they're afraid of getting too close, sometimes they will manifest relationships where that person lives on the other side of the country, and they keep on manifesting those relationships until they kind of see that it's not just about you keep meeting these people who live far from you, it's about your fear of intimacy. So that's something that some of you are needing to look into, and I feel like whoever's meant to hear that message is going to like click in your mind, and you're going to understand. I feel like, okay, no, that's all I'm getting for that. So let's pull for the, well, I already pulled for the future position. I feel like I'm going to have to clarify though. So the Three of Pentacles is here, and the Star card in reverse. So it looks like in the future, Gemini, you are going to definitely stagnate your healing if you continuously wait for people to kind of build with you, if that makes sense. It's like, I feel like for a lot of you, you have been dealing with people who are not willing to meet you halfway, and who are not really valuing the effort that you put into the relationship or into the situation. And so if you continue to invest in these people, I feel like you are going to end up very kind of broken or discouraged. Because with the Star card being here in reverse, this really talks about you just not having any type of faith or optimism, and you kind of slowing down your healing and your growth. And that's a direct result of dealing with people who don't want to cooperate with you. So you may need to really consider that when you're building new relationships, or when you're trying to salvage old ones. Because the last thing you want is to be in this repeat cycle in 2019 where you're dealing with people who clearly don't value you, or people who clearly just don't have it in them to match. like they can't match your energy. So I feel like with the star card that's being in the upright, this also talks about spiritual awakening and ascension. And some of you are on a spiritual path, or you're on a spiritual journey of some sort, and you're being held back because you are looking for other people to kind of match your energy, or you are looking outside of yourself for answers. It's one of those two things is what I'm seeing. So some of you are, like I said, needing to distance yourself from people who can't match your energy, and some of you are needing to really get in touch with a higher power and your own intuition, because like I said, the star card in reverse could also talk about you being disconnected from your higher self, and you being on this spiritual path but feeling blocked off because you're looking for answers outside of yourself. So be very careful about watching tarot readings or getting like intuitive readings or guidance. Make sure that you are trusting your gut instinct first before you start to look for things outside of yourself, is what I'm seeing. For some of you, you could be needing to start some type of humanitarian work. For some of you who feel very unfulfilled with life, or you feel like kind of just dead or empty on the inside and you don't know what that's about, it could be that some of you are meant to be of some type of service to people, and that's why you don't feel very good about life, or you feel like you don't have anything to look forward to. Because the Three of Cups being in the reverse, again, this could talk about like these destructive coping mechanisms, and they don't look like they're destructive because everybody takes part in them. So it's like going out to the club every weekend, drinking every weekend, just doing things to really distract yourself from day-to-day life. And I feel like some of you are just past that, or you're moving past that in 2019, or in January of 2019 for this reading, and you're really just wanting to seek out higher knowledge, or you're wanting to see that there's more to life. And I feel like some of you are stepping into your sister sign's energy, because your sister sign is Sagittarius. Your sister sign Sagittarius is known to be more of the spiritual sign, like seeing the bigger picture, seeking out higher knowledge, and some of you are needing to take on your sister sign's energy by doing that, really trying to find yourself spiritually, and then possibly taking part in some type of humanitarian work, is what I'm seeing. If you were in a situation where you felt very devalued, or you felt like you were taken for granted, or you put someone up on a pedestal and they constantly look down on you, I feel like there's a need for you to reevaluate that and to heal that, because your perception of it is what's keeping you stuck and keeping you from healing. Because, okay, I'm trying to show you what I'm seeing. So it's like, you see right here with this Three of Pentacles card, this card is about building, and really building something that's solid, not something that's going to disappear overnight. It's like building something long term. And I feel like you have been in situations where you have been willing to take on this energy and build with people long term, or build with a specific person long term. But since they're coming up in the reverse, that means that somebody's energy was not matching up. So it's like you internalizing that, and you feeling like, if I'm willing to put all this energy and effort in and this person's not, then I must be defective, or I must be doing something wrong. And I feel like that's not the case. And that's why the Star card is here, because the Star card is about seeing things from a higher perspective. So instead of seeing it as, okay, there's something wrong with me, or, I'm not good enough for this person, or why can't I be this, or why can't I be that so this person can love me, it's like seeing the bigger picture, seeing that certain people are brought into your life simply for your own growth, so you can see the ways in which you've been devaluing yourself, so you can see the ways in which you don't think highly of yourself. So until you change your perception from what's wrong with me, and shift it to, okay, what is that situation trying to teach me about myself, it's like until you take on that perspective, you're going to have a hard time letting this go. Because for some of you, this was some type of rejection that was very deep, and unless you see it from a higher perspective, there's like no way you can get through it. So it's like redirecting your mind to understand, okay, the higher lesson behind this is that I need to value myself more, or the higher lesson behind this is that I need to heal this type of wound. It's going to be different for everyone, but overall, I feel like you're needing to see the spiritual or higher lesson in a situation. And the Star card is the Aquarius card, and a lot of people say that Aquarians can be very detached and cold, but sometimes Aquarians, and I'm an Aquarius, can detach from our emotions because we see the bigger picture. And we see, okay, this isn't personal what this person's doing. This person is just actually a reflection of me, trying to show me something about myself. And once you take on that perspective, it's a little bit hard to not heal, or it's kind of hard to stay stuck once you change your perception to that. So that was a very long video, a very long reading, Gemini. I really hope that it was helpful, and I'm going to leave the link to the extended down below. And in the extended, we'll be looking at 2019 and the energies that are coming in for you this year. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you over on Vimeo.